Hello, hello, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. KKG, and we're back at it. One big announcement that was made by um, DBE, Department of Education in South Africa, spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga. Sorry for that. I think it's good. It's exciting. When I saw it, I was like, this is something that people should know. And the tweet that he made, it says the schools will be required to report to the police where the pregnant learner is under the age of 16. And then it says the South African Police Service will be informed to investigate and arrest perpetrators in cases of statutory rape. And he tagged a few people: Department of Education, Health South Africa, Regina. Regina is also part of Department of Education. I think she's a deputy minister. I think so. I think so. I might be wrong, but this is quite exciting for me as a teacher. I remember whilst I was working as a teacher in a government school, we had a lot of this happening at school, I've always worked in a primary school. So in that case, we had children, 11, 12, coming to school, even 10 years old, coming to school pregnant. And just to baffle us, we wondered, we asked quite a lot of questions. What happened? Who got her pregnant? Who is it another 10-year-old? Are they at the point that they can um, make a baby? Do they have semen, sperm? Like, we had a lot of questions. And in one of the cases, we then learned that it's not another child who got a child pregnant. We learned that it's the father who got a child pregnant, the daughter. Like, the father got the daughter pregnant, your own child. You raping her, and was, was complex. The mother was there, living with them. The father was there, and he was sleeping with the mother and then raping the daughters. It was complex to the extent that when you then call the parents, the mom, to then open a case against the husband, she didn't want to do any of that. That made it more complicated. And saying if he goes to prison, who's going to feed them? That was the biggest question that we continue to that she asked, and then we tried to work with social workers to get it going. However, it wasn't really, we couldn't work it out. We could not work it out, and it continued from the next child to the next child and to the next child to the next child. That was sad. But just to go into details on what this policy is saying, let me click on it. So it says number 20. I don't know what that's 24. I don't really know what is it for, but whoever knows, please let me know what it stands for. It says policy on prevention and management of learner pregnancy in schools. I personally, as a teacher, as a parent, to boys and to girls, I think that's a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful policy and should be implemented and followed all the time. So it's measures to deal with sexual offenses, child abuse, and negligency. In certain circumstances, information relating to a learner pregnancy may give rise to mandatory or voluntary reporting by the educator appointed by the school to provide counseling, support, and advice. Specifically, if the pregnant learner is under the age of 16, this would require mandatory. It's a mandate. It should be done. The reporting should be done to the SAPS, South African Police Services, and entails civil and criminal proceedings against the male partner if he is over the age of 16 years. For more information, go to the website and all of those. But let's look at it in details. I've mentioned I'm loving it. I'm liking it. I'm hoping that this will be implemented and carried out beautifully by all stakeholders, especially people on the ground, teachers, um, with the support system, correct support system that should be in place, and just just to deal with these issues, man. It's been happening for a long time, and for some people in some communities, it's normal. As I've told you, what really happened at the school that I worked in a government school. So that's what's going to happen. They will provide counseling, they will provide support, they will provide advice. And if they find out that the person that got the child, the girl, pregnant, it's above the age of 16, then the, they should open a case against them. The teacher should open the case against them with working. Remember, it's we work with other people, with the counselor, and all of those. So the ones in my space at the time was when I was working in public school in South Africa. We couldn't do it as the teachers. We needed parents to come and say, yes, this is it. And then they should be carrying it. It was complex. I was not fully involved in it, but you would hear feedback in the meeting and how the person who was working with the girl on the case, how stressed and frustrated she was. I remember her. So and there's another one here. I think it's 21. He shared two pictures. 21 says policy on prevention and management of learner pregnancy in school, referral and strategic partnership. In terms of this policy, partnership will be established and coordinated with the social sector and other support organization to facilitate access to appropriate support and referral services. These relationships will ensure that pregnant learners have access to support system capable of providing for their physical, psychological, material needs, either in the school or on a referral to partner department or organization. So this is basically again support that the physical scars had. They help out. They psychologically, because it's psychologically, and it's gonna stay there in your mind, in your life for the rest of your life. Imagine um, the child is raped, or imagine the child is raped by a family member, uncle, father, whoever. It stayed in your mind for long as ever. So they're saying they're going to support with that physical, psychological, and material in case they need things to get going. And they also going to refer. It's more like referral and strategic partnership. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. Since it was on Twitter, let's check the feedback. What are people say? There's 28 retweets. There's one quote tweet, and there's 50 like. I think I'm one of the 50s. Am I one of the 50s? I'm not sure. I think I am. And there's Trish. I'm not saying. I'm not sure if I'm gonna say her name correctly. Trisha Anovic. She's saying handing over a minor to subs to handle such a serious, sensitive issue. I think I didn't read it properly. Handing over a minor to subs to handle such a serious, sensitive issue. There's a question mark. When they are not properly trained to deal with rape. I think before the school hands the girl child over, is she going to receive counseling? Okay. Then with the first part, I think she's saying, imagine sending this child, this little 16-year-old or below, to the South African police station, and that's very serious, that's very sensitive, and she's saying she doesn't think that the subs are adequate enough to deal with rape cases. The counseling part, then she's asking about counseling. Is there going to be counseling for the child? And then King Solomon as well responded saying this might lead to learners dropping out of school to protect perpetrators who are feeding them. This one, this one. Imagine the person that's raping the child, the girl, is the uncle or the father who's supporting them. What does that mean? What will happen? It means that children might just drop out of school so they can continue eating. I get your point, Solomon, King Solomon. You got several and son of Abel Senior is saying that's a very good one. And Bongi Shozi, what about the parents of Elena Day can also report the matter to the police. He's asking a question about the parents. Ntiyo so Zekan wrote, I really don't know. So I'm gonna skip that quickly. Jenny said yes. It's being long overdue. Solani as well, long overdue. So people are for it, and there's people against it, and there's people questioning how it's going to go about. And Pusha, I'm just going to do last two, then we move. And Pusha says, why? Oh, I'll say, why don't the parents report their own kids? Pela now si funa singene shi ezindameni zabantu we allied. So Pusha is saying, why don't the parents do it? They want us. I think Pusha is a teacher. They want us to get in other people's businesses. I think she's a teacher, and I think she understands how complex these things can be. So she's asking Elijah a question, and then she put in like that emoji. So I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. You want us to get in other people's business. So let's go to the last one. Nubian. Some parents protect the perpetrators, hence it is also better if the parent. So Nubian saying parents parent notifications to get in because parents protect, as I think the other person say, um, um, uh, they will then drop out because they know that the perpetrators are the ones who are feeding the children. Therefore, it's quite it's not it's not easy for them to do that because once you report, then you taking your person, you that one person who's feeding you and your family. So that's that. Let's hear what you guys thinking about this policy. I think it's a beautiful one. I think it's long overdue, and I'm for it. I've seen how little girls suffer in schools, and they come to school pregnant. They're being raped daily by the family members, and moreover, worse by their own fathers. So, what your thoughts?